Hello, welcome to Wirral Footy Talk. Today's special guest is Andy Moran. He's been in a few Welsh clubs, played for the Tranmere Rovers, played for Liverpool. So we're going to get straight into today's interview with AKA Andy Moran, Sticksey. How you doing, mate?
Sound, mate, yeah, good to see you, Jace.
How's things? How have you found lockdown?
Alright, yeah, enjoyed it, to be honest, yeah.
Kept busy?
Well, always busy, aren't you, with 2 kids, so...
Got to be busy with the kids, haven't you?
Yeah.
We're going to start today's show, mate, with a bit of breaking news that we've had before, which is the Tranmere manager, Keith Hill. He's left now. He's gone, and Ian Dawes and Parky have took over. So, what's your views on that?
Strange one for me, Jace, to be honest. I thought they would have given him a chance in the playoffs. I know the run of form that they're in is terrible, but it is a strange time to make a change.
There was a few injuries in there as well.
Yeah, I know they haven't been scoring, but the main man, James Vaughan, for them hasn't been playing through injury. So, I think it's a strange one. But saying that, in the brief spell at the Art Parky and Ian Dawes did well, so
yeah,
it's a big opportunity for them.
It'll go 2 ways, won't it? They'll have a shine or they won't. It's as simple as that.
In the first one, he done well enough, so maybe that's his thinking.
What was it, 7 games, the first one?
I think, were they win 5 or 6?
5 or
maybe
6, yeah, but they were 7 games unbeaten,
beaten,
weren't they?
yeah.
So, anyway, best of luck to Tranmere.
Yeah.
I know the club's close to your heart, mate.
Yeah.
So, and we're going to go straight into it. Where did it all start?
I was brought up on the Knocky till I was about 6 or 7, and then I moved over to the Woody.
Posh bit of the Woody though.
Yeah.
At a park,
well, that's it, yeah. That's what I tell everyone, mate.
Yeah.
Went to Ada Hill School, then set on to St Benedict's, yeah.
And was there any football going on in the schools?
There wasn't in St Peter's, and there wasn't very much in Ada Hill, to be honest. We'd only play about 2 or 3 games a year. But, there was against local lads that I knew, St Micheal's and the Overchurch, so they were competitive, yeah.
So it was a good level, good standard already?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And were your family into football?
Yeah, but obviously we're massive Reds. My dad's a Scouser, so as soon as we were to be able to talk, there was a ball out and we were playing footy in the house, and my first memory of football was actually, I wasn't even old enough to go to school, and I remember begging him to take me out to play footy over the park when he was saying I can't, because Ridgeway was still in school. That was my first memory of it, yeah. But when we were all massive Reds, my brother's a massive Red, so yeah, we would always follow them. So
who were the clubs you were involved with, mate? Because there was a few, wasn't there, when you were growing up at grassroots level?
Well, my dad used to run a team called the Knocky. A few of the local lads, they played in it, my older brother, and they won the league, so I was following them round for a bit. And when I was younger, they didn't have teams that young. I think it was like under 9s before we first get into it.
Yeah.
So my first team was Welsh League, and I had to wait. I joined them at the end of the season, but I couldn't play till the following season because I was too young. Yeah. That was my first team.
It's not like today, is it?
No, it wasn't.
It's not like
today. I wish it was, though.
I know, yeah. Well, you played for Welsh League, and I read the stat there that you scored 119 goals.
Well, it was 132 to be honest, Chase.
Is that 119 in the paper?
That was before the end of the season. No, we had a good little team. Yeah.
Who were the kind of players you were playing with then?
There was not so much in my team in Welsh League, but the team we played against was the main team was Olympic.
Yeah.
And they had the likes of Chrissy Edge, Jason Kumas, James Locke. Some really good players, yeah. Stephen Mills. I know James Locke,
he was in the army with me, yeah.
Yes, Millsy, as you know, he was playing for them. So they used to run away with the league, to be honest. And we finished second to them all the time, but yeah.
Even with you scoring that amount of goals?
Yeah.
That's a strange one, isn't it?
Weirdly enough, we never ever beat them, but they'd slip up every now and again. So the gap wasn't that far. Yeah, but we were miles off them. They were a much better team than us, Yeah.
So what other grassroots teams were you playing with, all mates?
Well, after that, I left and joined Haygarth, and because I was big friends with Jason Kumas, he joined us. But at the same time, because I was at Liverpool, my dad and Steve Gerrard's dad were friends, and obviously we were friends with him through Liverpool. So I'd go over and play for Denburn in the morning, and then come back and play for Haygarth in the afternoon, and Stevie would come and join us.
So he'd come and play for Haygarth as well?
Yeah, in the afternoon, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and Kumas was in the team as well?
Me, Jason, and Stevie would join us, and a lad called Barry Banachek. A lot of people won't know him, but when he was younger, he was some player, mate, yeah.
Some team that though already.
Yeah.
You could have beat teams with just you three, you, Jason, Stephen.
Yeah, it was a good team, mate, yeah. But our big rivals were Asheville, who they had the likes of Tommy Holmes and Andy Robinson, played for Swansea and all that, so they were a decent team as well, you know.
Some talent there though already, we're talking players, isn't it?
There is, mate, yeah.
Especially from the Whittle, like, you're thinking, there's a big pool of special talent, that's why we do the show, to put people out there.
Well, that's it, yeah.
So what was the standard like? Because you were playing in Liverpool as well, and then you're playing over here. There's two different contrasts there. Was it different in Liverpool to what was over here?
It was a lot tougher in Liverpool.
Was it?
A lot more physically, yeah. Some of the tackles are going in with, with X-rated, you wouldn't get away with them nowadays, but...
Did that stand you in good stead, though?
It did, yeah. Toughened me up, yes, yeah, did, mate.
Yeah.
But I loved it, though. I loved it. Even I would never get tired. I'd come back, play for Haygarth in the afternoon.
When you come back over that, with there being more physical over there, did you think it was a little bit not easier, as in the game is technically, but like...
I found out I had more time when I come back over. So that was the main difference, like, yeah.
That's brilliant, mate, yeah. So, you talked about Liverpool there, mate. So, at what age did you join Liverpool?
I joined Everton first. A lot of people know the local legend, the scout, Mick O'Brien.
Yeah,
he took me, but he was a nightmare, Jace. He used to, like 1 week he wouldn't turn up. The first week I was supposed to go, he turned up half an hour late. So I got to Belfield with about 15 minutes to go before the end of the session. The week after he didn't turn up because his card had conked out. And then the week after I went and it did really well, they wanted me to sign. And then, but Liverpool came in at the same time, so...
And with Liverpool being your club?
That's it. My mind was already made up, Jace, yeah.
So what happened? How did you get into Liverpool? How did that evolve, like?
I always remember my mum. I was about to go to Everton on the Tuesday, I think it was, and I was helping her do the dishes, and she said, I shouldn't be telling you this, but there's a scout coming this week from Liverpool. But don't tell your dad because he doesn't want you to get nervous and all this, But obviously he come, and then I got a trial, and it was obviously the facilities then we never used to, not like there is now. We never even to Melwood or nothing. We used to go to a place called the Vernon Sangster, which we used to...
Yeah, I remember that,
yeah.
Hugh McCauley.
It was just literally just a leisure centre, and that's all it was, mate. And I straight away after the first session, he asked me to sign straight away, and that was me. Yeah.
And you were there then?
Yeah, I didn't even give Everton like a second thought, then I was in, yeah.
So did you have to sign any forms, or...?
Do you know what, I did sign the form, but they were only like 1 year, like a contract. Yeah. I've still got some of the stuff in the house, my dad's kept and all like that.
Yeah.
I think my first one was, I think it was under 9s when I went, the first time, yeah.
Was there any players that you were playing with then that
Well, that's it. As soon as I went in, Jason, I loved it straight away. Yeah. And there was Steve Gerrard, Micheal Owen, obviously Jason Kumas, myself. Really good players like Michael Yates. I think you know him. He's a coach at Liverpool now. Leighton Maxwell, who went on to play for Cardiff. Stephen Wright, he ended up playing for Sunderland, and that was my age group. Yeah. And the year above, 2 years above was Carragher and Davy Tomo. Yeah.
There was some brilliant talent there, though, wasn't there?
There was, mate. Yeah.
And what were sessions like there? Who was your coaches?
When I first went, it was Stevie Highway.
Yeah.
He took a majority of it, and then Dave.
Steve's brilliant.
Yeah, he's brilliant. He's best coach I've ever worked with, mate.
Brilliant.
And there was Dave Shannon.
Dave Shannon's a really
another, but he was only a teacher at the time. He was only part time.
Yeah.
He was brilliant, and Hughie McCauley as well, yeah. They were the three main ones.
Three really good.
Three legends.
Football people.
Yeah.
It's good.
You just look at the track record, that they brought through, haven't they, mate?
They brought through, but they're lucky because that's even though you're talking about them players, that's a very good standard to be training in, isn't it?
Well, that's it, yeah. So, as soon as we went in straight away, it was just, it was intense. It was
just click.
Yeah, it was intense, but I loved it, mate.
Yeah. And were you playing up front then?
At that time, they weren't doing games. It was just training.
Just training?
Just training. And the first, I think it was like under 12s before they were allowed to play, or maybe under 11s, before we started playing competitive games for them. And I was moved out to the right or right back as well, mate.
Right back?
Right back, yeah. Bombing on.
Joining in the play.
Not getting back.
So you're at Liverpool and you're going through the years, so you get to the 12 when you start playing games.
Yeah.
What was that like when you started playing matches?
I loved it, mate. Just, when you first pull on that top, even when you're 11, there's nothing like on it, mate. And like the first mini derby you have, it's you feel it, you get nerves and everything, even
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Did you ever get nervous before games, mate? Or?
Not really. More excited.
As your career went on, did you ever get?
No, not really.
Nerves?
Never. Just more excitement, to be honest.
Yeah.
When just wanted the game to kick off. Yeah. That's all. Yeah.
So did you stay like down the right hand side through all your career at Liverpool? Did you?
Up until I was about 15, 16. Well, maybe 14s actually, because then Micheal, Owen had gone to Liverpool by then. So there was a bit
of people who don't know, mate, Liverpool's when you got picked for England and you go down there. Do you spend a lot of time down there, don't you?
They lived there.
They lived there, yeah.
They lived there from, I don't know, it's maybe 13, I think, and they do the last. They lived there in like a boarding school, and they go to like a high school there. Yeah. Once they finish the studies in the day, they train straight after it, and it's supposedly the best. I think it's the best, or what they class as the best 16 England lads at that age group that go down. That doesn't mean to say that they'll play for the England national team. You still have to go on to that. But he got taken down. Weirdly enough, Stevie didn't. And
Stevie didn't?
No, he didn't make it.
Wow.
Exactly, mate.
It's crazy, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It just goes to show you, though, they don't always get it right, do they?
Well, that's it, yeah. But he did make the England team. But just he didn't make the national school.
We'll get to Stevie in a minute, mate, but just the one that you mentioned before, Jace Kumas. How good was Kumas when he was younger?
Phenomenal, mate. He was a lot different player to what he was when he was a pro. When he was younger, he was a dirty little player. On everyone. But then when he got older, he stayed away from all the tackles and that, and he was more of a flair player, yeah. But he was,
Could you tell then, though, even at your age, that he had something different?
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah. He was just as good as his left foot. But then with his right, yeah. I've seen him take a corner swing at him with his left foot. Just unreal talent, mate. Yeah.
And then what about Gerrard? Was he on it?
Well, at the time, to be honest, Jace, it was all Micheal Owen.
It was all about Owen.
Yeah, it was. But obviously, when you're like in the team, like around it, and obviously Stevie and everyone knew Stevie was just outrageous.
Yeah.
But the focus was mainly on Micheal Owen, yeah, because he was
scorer.
Not just that, but he was like the golden boy at the time.
Yeah.
I think I've watched a few podcasts, footy ones, and he was the world's best teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why was that though, mate? What was he like on a day-to-day basis?
He was just phenomenal, mate. He was just, honestly, he was ruthless. He would 2-foot people, which is not a lot of people would say it. You go into tackles and you go, oh, what's he doing? Stevie go mad saying, what are you don't be putting yourself in them positions and
get yourself hurt.
Yeah. But honestly, he was just outrageous. Yeah.
I seen the Gerrard program with Hugh, Dave, and Stevie in the talking, and they said they never had a problem when they got to breaking into the first team. They were talking, Stevie and Micheal, like, oh, I can't wait to get in the first team. It wasn't like, oh, I don't know when I get there. They just couldn't wait. They said, well, when we get in the first team, we're going to do this. And that's quite something at a young age, isn't it?
Well, when I look back now, Jace, their mindset was just different to, well, certainly to mine anyway.
Yeah.
They were almost like angry that they weren't playing, that they were playing in their own age group. Do you know, if you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
They're almost saying I'm too good for this age group.
I need to be
without saying it, but you could tell by the body language
that bit of swagger.
The swagger, yeah. But when they did step up to the other age group, the year above, even 2, they were still bossing it.
Did that affect you? Did that playing with them players? Did it affect you or your
No,
game?
not really, mate. No. I just looked at them as something to try and chase down.
Yeah.
And
to stay with.
To compete with, to chase them down, to keep, to stay on their tails. And
so when you're going through Liverpool, did you have any vision of getting in the first team? Do you think you were going to get in?
When I was maybe like 12 or 13, we got pushed into the, to the Padgate, it was called. It was like the England trials, and they were like regional ones before you go, and then you progress. So we got through to the second round, and I got down, and the next trials were then at Chester, and I obviously didn't get as far after that. But when you're getting pushed into them by someone, Stevie, Highway, you know what I mean? You do think, I've got half a chance here.
Yeah. So did they have regular meetings with you, like end of seasons, little chats, like parents' evenings or anything?
We only had a chat at the end of the season, and you get a report on, obviously they'd say if they wanted to keep you or if you didn't, and then they'd have a little report on what they think that you need to improve on, what you're good at, and
like
stuff
an end
like
of
that.
Season review.
Yeah. That's all we've done really. But as the ages went up, if you weren't doing something right, they'd tell you in no certain term. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you get told.
Oh yeah. If you were late, you couldn't be late.
Yeah.
You were getting these run you and stuff.
But did you find that, because it's hard, and people think like academies are soft, don't they? But it's a hard environment, mate, isn't it? The players you're playing with, the training, the coaches telling you things, and they're very blunt, aren't they? Because they want.
If they're trying to condition you to be a first team player, and they've got to, life's not easy, is it?
No.
So you've got to be able to take someone
talent,
but they've got to be able to take a bit of get moaned at, sold off. So if they can't take it off one coach, how are they going to take it from 40, 50,000 people?
Yeah.
They're trying to train your brain into thinking.
Like condition
you.
Yeah. Condition you.
Yeah. But I never had a problem with that. I think it's a bit snowflake nowadays, isn't it? With you can't, before the mum and dad's come from.
It has definitely changed.
Yeah.
It has definitely changed, yeah. But you find 9 times out of 10 the parents, like your dad, I know your dad as well, they bought into it, didn't they? They would buy into it and they'd be there and I'd be there on time. Whereas nowadays, sometimes they think you sign a contract that you've already made it and you haven't. It's time, that's the time when you've got to work your hardest.
Exactly, Jace, yeah, definitely, mate. I can never ever remember once my dad having me late. He'd be the other way. I'd be half an hour early, to be honest, more than late. Because he'd always say, show up, you mean business, you can see you've got a good attitude. Because them little things, they go in the right direction, mate, and it does.
Yeah.
It does help. Yeah.
It does, mate, it does. So, how old were you when you left Liverpool?
I was 16, and then I went and I got offered a 2-year YTS at Tranmere then.
Yeah.
So
what was it like leaving Liverpool?
I was gutted, mate.
You were gutted?
Yeah, heartbroken.
Because you always say to make a professional footballer, you have a lot of setbacks, don't you? That's how you get over your setbacks. It's not just all the golden path where it leads you straight there, does it?
No, definitely not, mate. I remember going back when it was a YTS with Tranmere, and we played Liverpool at Melwood, and seeing Stevie, and he said that I was the worst one he'd ever seen taken. I took it so bad because I was gutted.
Yeah.
He said I was the worst one, yeah. Yeah, I was heartbroken, mate. But yeah.
But it was good you had Tranmere to fall back on, mate, wasn't it?
Well, I didn't, to be honest, Jace.
Oh, didn't you?
No. I was still contracted at Liverpool, and one of the scouts at Tranmere that we knew, Ron Taylor.
Ronnie said.
Yeah, he said, "Why don't you come over?" So, I remember I was on sort of like on trial for about 2 months before Warwick Rimmer decided he wanted me. So I didn't know what I was going to do. Yeah.
We've had Danny on and he speaks about Warwick, and I suppose I speak highly of him anyway in everyday life, mate. But I suppose you do as well.
Yeah, one of the best fellas I've ever met, to be honest. He's brilliant.
Come on, give us a Warwick story then. You must have.
He used to always walk up and down the halls on his hands, doing handstands, just walking around. That's what he used to do all the time. He was nuts, mate. Yeah, but he was great.
Was he a big influence on you though?
Yeah, he was, Jace, yeah.
Did he pick you up after you?
Do you know what? That's exactly what he did. Because his coach, he never really did any coaching. Really, no, as in, when I come from Liverpool, it was all, you know, if you weren't doing something, they'd tell you.
Yeah.
Or they'd stop the session and say, do it this way. Or give you an option to do something. When I went to Tranmere, it was just more like express yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I needed at the time, mate.
Yeah.
And he just got my confidence back going again, yeah. So
you're a YTS then, 16 to 18?
Yeah, I got a 2-year YTS, but after a year of it, I was pulled in and got offered a pro, yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, but I finished my YT. I think he put me money up about 40 quid.
So how much were you on as a YT?
£42.50, mate. And it went up to £52.50 the second year.
Yeah.
Before I got me pro, and they bumped my wages up to 90 quid, and then I done me 3-year pro then. Yeah.
So when you're a YTS, what was expected of you? Like what sort of things? Because you clean the pros' boots then and stuff like that, didn't you?
Yeah, well, you'd be a boot boy, so you get assigned 2 or 3 players. Mine was Tony Thomas, Liam O'Brien, and a young pro called Paul Jones. You probably know him. He had a good career at Barrow and stuff like that. Centre half. And then you'd have the duties on top of that. You know, you clean the balls or
sweep the floor.
Not so much. Well, you'd have to do the dressing rooms, yeah, or put the kit out in the morning for the pros and just be a dog's body for them, really. Yeah. But I loved every minute of it.
That's giving you a good life experience, though, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
You're doing them little bits, and then you've got where you want to be. I want someone else putting that out for me.
Yeah.
So it's making you hungrier, isn't it? Really.
It did, but I was a terrible whitey, mate. I was horrendous. The boots were always dirty, and I was more interested in having a laugh with the lads, and because you go in and there was banter, and we'd be playing tennis, and then you go, I'll have to better do his boots before he comes down. So they'd be soaking wet, and I'd be throwing a bit of polish over the top of them. Yeah. So I wasn't great, mate. Yeah. But.
So you're at Tranmere now, and then you said you signed pro.
Yeah.
So what happened then, mate? So
we got a phone call, actually. We used to train up in Ingleborough, and me, Tommy Holmes, Neil Gibson and Jason Kumas got told we need to go to the ground. And we basically got told to sign it there, and then we didn't have an option, really. Yeah,
no agents then?
No. And well, Holmes said if you come back with an agent, the offer won't be there.
Right, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you signed it?
So there and then we signed it, mate,
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're training with the first team now? Not that you weren't training with them anyway, but
it's a lot different, I think, now than what it was then. They were a championship club, so to get as a YTS, it was rare that anyone went up to the reserves, or even rarer to go with the first team. So if you got called up for the reserves, it was a bit of a, deal.
Yeah.
So as a first year pro, then we were obviously full time as a reserve. Yeah.
What was the training like then?
It was good, yeah, it was good, yeah. Obviously it wasn't as intense as it was at Liverpool, but it was good. We had good coaches, Ray Mathias, Kev Sheedy, obviously Everton legend, a few not so good ones.
But what I was trying to say is you were training with Warwick with the youth and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was Warwick.
And then the changeover, was it a massive change, or was it... You don't think you've been progressed to that?
Yeah, no, not for me really, Jace. I don't know whether it could be different for other lads, but it was just, you know, we were all a good set of lads there, so it was just leaving one good set of lads and training with another good set of lads.
Yeah.
So that I didn't really see a transition for me. Obviously, apart from the quality, because they're all first team and reserve players. Yeah.
What position were you playing for Tranmere? Because at Liverpool you said you played down the
Yeah,
right.
I went back up to centre forward then.
Went up to centre forward since you got to Tranmere.
Yeah.
And did you start scoring goals again?
Took me a while, Jace.
Did it?
To get going, yeah. But I'd say after about 3-4 months of being a white here, I was starting to score again, yeah. And I got me, I think there was a few injuries for the reserves. I mean, Jason got called up. Came on as sub and scored 2 straight away. Did
that help with Jason getting called up as well? Because he was such a good player, he knew your game as well. Did you play enough football?
It was more, he was my mate.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if I would have gone just on my own, I might have been a bit more than Micheal, but because he was my mate and the two of us went together,
yeah,
it helped me relax a bit more, yeah.
So you played in the reserve team, and did you get into the first team?
I was in a few squads, never came on, no Jason. No.
They never got on?
No.
Oh, that's a shame, innit?
Yeah, gutted, yeah.
Yeah, were you gutted? Did you ever think one day when you were there that you were going to get on?
I felt I deserved the chance. Yeah. There was obviously a few times when there was a few lads injured, and I thought I deserved the chance, yeah.
But it wasn't to be? It
wasn't to be, mate, no.
What about the reserves? Were you scoring goals for the reserves?
Yeah, I was doing alright, yeah. There was only one game that I thought, bloody hell, I need to talk up at here. We played Chef Wed at home, and Steve Micheal played centre half.
Yeah.
And he marked me out the game, mate, and I didn't honestly think he had a sniff.
Didn't get nothing?
No. I remember the lads the next day were like, taking the mick out of me, saying he's 40. And I was like, honestly, God, he was brilliant. He was. Yeah.
He was left-footed, right-footed, Steve Micheal.
He played centre half though.
Yeah.
And
he had big feet.
Yeah, it's like sort of size 14 or something. Then he's some stupid on it, yeah. But yeah, that was a bit of an eye opener, yeah. Playing against him, yeah.
So you're playing along Tranmere now. It's a happy time. What happened then?
Cut a long story short, I don't think Holdridge liked me, to be honest. Well, I know he didn't.
Because he never put you on.
Not just that, he didn't treat us great.
Yeah.
There's a few of us that he didn't treat great. He'd make me be a linesman just to try and embarrass me sometimes, or he'd make me be a ref, and you know, instead of just stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went on loan now in my last year to Derry City over in Ireland, and that was supposed to be for the season, but I came back early.
What was that experience like then?
Oh, that was brilliant.
Was it?
Yeah. It was the first taste of real like first team football I had.
Yeah.
Because you know, you're playing reserve team football, although it's good standard. When you're playing first team football against real men, it's their job, the money they earn, they bring in a little bit tops up, and so it was brilliant. It was the first time I played into proper crowds as well.
Where were you staying then? Were you staying in digs or?
For the first 3 months I was in digs with a lovely family, and then the club, I moved in with the assistant manager, Bugsy. He went on to be Carlisle manager.
Yeah.
And then I moved in with him, but he was never there, so it was basically living on my own.
Oh, yeah.
And then after about a month of that, Perry Taylor from Tranmere, he came on loan, stayed with me. Yeah.
How did you find that though, living away from home for the first time?
It was brilliant, Jace. Yeah. It was, to be fair, he put me in a good house, because the family I was with, the lad wasn't the same age as me. So he used to take me out with his mates, and he had a big group of mates, like 20 of them all the time. So I felt sound, yeah.
And it was nice over there, like it was good.
Yeah, my mum and dad were worried because of the the troubles, but I didn't see none.
No.
And every single person that I come across was lovely to me.
Yeah.
I never ever had any trouble or nothing.
So how did you do on the football side?
I went back to playing right mid when I was over there.
Get on a score sheet much?
Not really, because the tight games over there in Ireland, or they were at the time, it was very, very physical. And I used to scratch my head. Who were the top
teams then in that league?
At the time, it was St. Pat's and Bohemians. Bohemians, they won the league a few years.
So where were Derry in the scheme of things?
We were about 4th or 5th.
Yeah.
We won the League Cup though, which was a big thing. But Bohemians, they had, do you remember the boxer, what's his name? Steve, before Chris Eubank.
Oh, the ginger lad?
Yeah.
Steve Collins?
Collins, yeah. His brother was the manager of Bohemians, Roddy. And he was exactly the same, he was all, all in, yeah. But it was good. But you played in proper crowds as well, like 10, 12,000 crowds and that. If you got to the final, you'd be like 30, 40,000 there.
And did you enjoy it, the day, the
yeah.
occasion?
Yeah, loved it, yeah. No nerves or nothing. Just loved it. Yeah.
And you won the cup as well?
Yeah, I actually scored that one, yeah. But it was like a two-legged thing, but we won, yeah. I think it was like 3 or 4-1 over 2 legs, yeah.
Brilliant, and that's your first taste of winning something like that?
Proper silverware, yeah.
Proper silverware?
Yeah.
It was decent?
Did
you enjoy it? Really,
yeah, it was good.
The moment, like?
Yeah, it was a good after party, mate.
Plenty of Guinness.
Yeah.
So, from there, where did you go from Derry, mate?
Came back to Tranmere, and we actually came back for the WFT Cup final that they got there. This is how good a fellow Warwick was. Aldridge had banned me and Perry from attending for whatever reason. And we found out later that Warwick had paid out of his own pocket for our tickets.
Wow.
To travel, to go to the game.
Yeah.
Paid for our travel. We didn't even know. We just thought it'd come from the club, but he paid out of his own pocket. Yeah.
What a guy.
Yeah. And then after the game, we were getting phone calls, me and Perry, to come to the after party, but we were banned from that as well.
You were banned from the after party?
Yeah, for whatever reason. Still don't know, mate.
Did Tommy get it?
Oh, he was there, mate, yeah. He was there, yeah. In his Primark suit.
All his Primark. Yeah. So what happened after that when you come back to Tranmere? My
contract was up then, and left and joined Hereford then, mate.
Hereford?
Yeah.
What league were they in?
They were in the conference then.
Yeah.
National League, whatever you want to call it. And I lived on a farm.
Did you move down there?
Yeah, moved down, yeah. Lived on a farm with 3 other lads. Did
you go out down there? Because isn't that where the SAS
Yes, yeah. You could see them running past the window on the snow and everything, yeah. But yeah, moved in with moved in with a family. Well, I say family, it was an old woman and an old fella on a farm.
Yeah.
But it was in the middle of nowhere, literally nowhere. The 3 lads I was with was Chris Lane, who used to play for Everton. He got a move to Southport, a brilliant player.
Yeah.
Gav, he ended up getting a move to Yeovil, and then went on to play for West Ham. And Michael McKindo, he got me into Yeovil with Gav at the same time, and then went on to Wolves and Bristol City.
How did you do at Hereford, mate?
Terrible, mate.
Didn't go well?
No, it didn't go well at all. Hated it.
Didn't settle?
Hated every minute of it.
Did you?
Yeah.
How long were you there for?
I'd signed a 2-year, and I lasted till the Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I went and seen the manager, Chris Turner, and said, I want to go home. Yeah, hated it, mate. Especially because Chris Lane was the only one who could drive out of us. And he got a move back to Southport, being a Scouser as well. Yeah. So that was me transport gone, because he used to drive us home every weekend. Yeah. So then it was just the 3 of us, and then Gav and Kev, Gav and Mike, they both got moves on the same day to Yeovil. So I was left on my own. And so I lasted about a week on my own. I said, no.
Was you okay over you leaving?
Well, he must have been let me go. Yeah.
So where did you go to then, mate?
I signed a short contract for Bamber Bridge, because my brother's mate from school, Stephen Aspinall.
Yeah.
He was playing for them, so he got in touch with us. But I was only there about a month. My mate, who used to play in Derry, he gave us a call and said, do you want to come over? We need we're trying for promotion for Newton Ards. They were in the Irish League.
Yeah.
So when I was a bit of a bad one for Bamber Bridge, but I left them in a bit of a lurch and shot back over to Ireland, yeah, till the end of the season.
Yeah. And what happened there? Did you win anything, or?
Yeah, we ended up winning the league and promotion on the last day. Did all right. Wanted me to go back, but
at this point you're playing up front as well?
We're back up front, mate,
back,
yeah.
Goals.
I think we got 3 and 8 or 4 and 8 for them, which wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Got them promoted anyway, but like I said, they wanted me to go back, but I didn't want to. So they're going back to Bamber Bridge then for the following season. Yeah.
Yeah. And how did that go?
It went good, mate. But this team was struggling. But personally, I was doing well.
You were playing well yourself.
Yeah. And then the management team, they got sacked just before Christmas and got some new ones in. I can't remember who he was now. He used to play for Leicester, I think. And by the January, they'd sold me to Rill.
To Rill? Sonny Rill, eh?
Yeah.
Now, Sonny Rill I know a little bit about, mate, so we can elaborate more on Rill because it was such a good league, wasn't it? Such a good standard at the time.
Yeah, it was, mate. Yeah, it was like similar to what I was saying before when I was a kid. Going from the English League to the Welsh one, that was a lot tougher. The Welsh League is a lot more physical.
Is this the old League of Wales as well, where you played the?
Yeah, there was like
38 games.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, there was like 20
Not
teams
like
or something now. Yeah, I'm sure there was. Yeah, so you'd be all over the place all the time, you know. But some great sessions on the way home, mate.
You used to get a good crowd at Rill, didn't you?
Yeah, it was decent. Yeah. It was probably the best between them and Bangor. Were probably the two best supported teams in the league. Yeah.
I knew with the players you were playing with there, mate.
For Rill, when I first signed, there wasn't too much that you probably know, but the year after, because they sacked the manager and brought John Olsen. Well, he was already there, he was assistant.
Yeah.
But then he brought in a lot of local lads that I knew, like Chrissy McGinn, Lee Atherton. He brought Timmy Edwards in over from TNS. Who else was there? Chris Adamson as well.
Yeah. Played
for Leeds, good player. And then he started bringing other lads in as well from Leeds. He brought Alex Owen in. He brought Lee Hunt in from Bangor. So he was starting to get a bit of a good team together.
Who were you playing up front?
It was me and Chrissy McGinn up front, yeah.
Yeah. Some partnership, that.
Well, do you know what, mate? He used to do all my work, didn't he? So it was, good for me. Yeah.
He was a good lad, Chrissy, though, as well.
Yeah, I spoke to him the other day, actually, yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. I've known Chrissy since I was about 3 or 4 from under Knocky.
So what was the goal ratio there that you were both looking at? Because you're both goal scorers, aren't you?
Yeah, like, he used to work well for me and Chris, because Chris used to run the channels, and I'd go short majority of the time. And we sort of like dovetail like that, mate. But yeah, we scored a few, yeah. And then he brought Unti in, yeah.
And this is the time when McKenna's took over TNS.
Do you know what? I'd already it was before I signed for Bamber Bridge. I went to TNS and played 2 games for them, and he wanted me to sign Kenny, but Bamber Bridge offered more money, so yeah. So that's where I went, and then so they'd already won a couple of the league titles on the bounce by the time I got to Rill, yeah.
So you got a few Wirral legends there up Rill, haven't you?
Yeah.
And then obviously, Ulsey, the manager, he's a Wirral legend as well.
Stewie Graves as well.
Stewie Graves, yeah.
Good player, very good player.
So was it a good dressing room, that? Good time?
Best one I've been in, yeah. It was brilliant. Like I said, there was no egos or nothing, Jace. We were all best mates.
Yeah.
We'd all have a good laugh together and a good beer after it as well.
Yeah. And what were you challenging for then?
Well, when I first went, the Rill weren't really in the picture. They were like 6th. And then, like I said, when Ulsey come in, started bringing in like Chrissy and Addo and all like that, and Gravesy, we started going up. And I remember we went away for the North Wales like representative team to Scotland. We sort of tried to poach George Oram from Connors Quay. When we were up there, we managed to get on the team, get into us about 6 months later. But I remember we were saying to George at the time, come and join us, because we could feel something.
Yeah.
And because they finished above us the year before, he was saying, nah, we're better than you. So.
And then did you won the league the following year, did you?
The following season, mate, yeah, we did, yeah. I think it was 04, 05.
Was that between you and CNS then?
Went down to the last day of the season.
I remember this game. I remember going watching Tosh.
No, well, we played them on the bank holiday.
Yeah.
And they were leading us by 3 points, I think.
Yeah. It was a summer.
It was Red Hot.
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
We beat them 1-0. So we went. I think we went. I think that took us 3 above them or something like that. But then we slipped up the week after. So that went into the last day of the season. So it was between us and them.
It was a very high standard though, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
TNS had Scotty Rusko, Evo.
Yeah.
They had a great side.
Brilliant team, mate. Obviously Tommy Holmes and all like that. So last day of the season, we had to better TNS's result.
Are you playing against Tommy then? What was that like? Because you were such a good mates, aren't you? And you're coming across him, and you're playing against him.
Yeah, he's probably one of the toughest opponents I've had, to be honest, Chase.
Everyone says that. Everyone says, because you see Tommy. Sorry, mate. You see Tommy, and everyone thinks they're laughing, joking, but when you watch him play football, and people who don't know him, you see him play football. He was one of the best, really, wasn't he?
He was, mate. Yeah, he's very, very, very underrated, Tommy.
Yeah.
And I think because of his nature outside of, well, off the pitch, people sort of takes away his ability on it. He was brilliant. He was very, very clever, Tommy.
So you're playing against like Evo and Tommy, and that's what I'm really trying to get at. Like the standard's really high, isn't it? But
this is how much what I think of Tommy. I'd rather play against Evo than what I would against Tommy, because you knew what you were getting with Evo, because he was just all brawn and physical, strong, Where Tommy was clever, he'd wait for you to take a touch, then he'd nick it off you, or he'd take a step back, and he was hard to read,
And it must have been a hard league then, because you had it was a big Timmy at the back.
Big Timmy, he was a
absolute unit,
big farmer from Woody Wrexham.
He's great fella though. Over hills, didn't he?
He was a great fella though. He was a brilliant captain as well. Yeah,
good unit though, wasn't he?
He was about 6'4", mate. Yeah. He was. He wasn't great, obviously, with his feet or the quickest, but he read it well, and he was great in the air. Yeah.
So you won the league. So what happened the next year?
The following season, we just couldn't keep up with the TNS the following season. We still finished second to them, but we just couldn't challenge. And that was, for the following 2 or 3 seasons, it finished like that,
Yeah. Was there any trips to Europe there? And did you qualify for Europe?
Yeah, we done Sconteriga and Champions League. The following season, we were Lithuania.
What was that like playing in Europe?
It's brilliant. Yeah, the old hairs stand up on, the music comes on and all like that. The old hairs come up, mate. But great experiences as well, It's like Lithuania, you wouldn't class as a particularly humid, hot country, but it was baking hot. Yeah.
What were the hotels you were staying in like and stuff like that?
The ones in Lithuania and Latvia were very basic, just a normal. But when we got through, one year we beat, I think it was Kaunas, Sadova, they were called, from Lithuania. And we played in the next round in Norway. It was Norway, and we played against Roy Hodgson's team, Viking Stavanger.
Right.
Roy Hodgson was the manager.
Roy Hodgson,
yeah. They had some players, mate. They had, I don't know, probably the young ones won't remember them, but Egil Ostenstad up front. Breda Hangeland he's the assistant manager for Norway now, isn't he?
Yeah.
He played centre mid. Ronnie Dahlia, the ex-Celtic manager, he played.
Great experience.
Yeah.
The only thing is, it's about £10 a pint, isn't it?
Yeah, it was, But we opened this, we were the first team to open there, brand new stadium. So there was about 35,000 there, so it was brilliant, mate, yeah.
Did you get to speak to Roy Hodgson?
Spoke to him briefly after it.
Okay.
Yeah, he seemed a nice fella, yeah. Spoke to him at the first leg was at home, at our place. Spoke to him briefly then, yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So you leave Rel, you go to Fleetwood?
Yeah, I was getting a bit stale, to be honest, Jace.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I wasn't. Footballers started changing where lads coming in were more physical, they were looking after themselves, outside footy.
Yeah.
I was too busy still in the cool rooms and with Tosh and that, and it was starting to catch up on me a bit, mate. Yeah. And then one of the lads had said he knew my old manager from Bamber Bridge was the manager of Fleetwood. He said, "Can I pass him your number?" So that's the way it was, yeah. He passed me my number, and then they got in touch with Will and they bought me, yeah.
Yeah. What was it like up there?
I didn't enjoy it, Chase.
Didn't you?
No, I didn't enjoy it, to be honest, mate. Especially the first few months. they were still acting like a lower league club, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you get there and it was
You never had what they had today, the facilities.
well, they still had the same chairman.
Yeah.
Because he was starting to pump money in, but they weren't acting like a higher league club. They was, you know, he's still getting there. And,
I don't know if you've been to Fleetwood now. Have you seen the new training complex and stuff?
It's unreal, isn't it?
Top draw, yeah.
But it wasn't like that then. We were training on the park and everything. And then the year after, that's when he started putting real money into it. And he brought Micheal in as manager. Yeah.
I was talking to the Branchy about that when Micheal was there. He went up there.
Yeah.
So what was it like? Did you play for Mickey?
Played for him for a few months, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. What was that like? Because obviously he had a big influence in Tranmere, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, like I say, I was at Tranmere with him. But didn't get on with him great, Jason, to be honest.
Yeah. Playing manager.
He was just two-faced, really.
Yeah.
So he tried to shaft me out of a few quid as well, which he wasn't too happy, but he caught him out with it, doing it. But, you know, but it's one of them things, isn't it?
You left Fleetwood, then you went to Preston?
No, tell a lie, Jace. Yeah, I did go to, I had a couple of loans though while I was at Fleetwood. One at Leeds and Colwyn Bay, but I got injured in both of them. So it didn't work out for me great. And then after that I went to Preston, and spent a season there with Gibbo, the manager, who was a YTS with and a pro with Tranmere. Yeah. What
was it like playing for Gibbo?
Strange. Yeah. Not the type of football I was used to, mate.
Yeah.
He was always crying or arguing for decisions, and it used to do me head in. Yeah, but
he is competitive, but he's a decent guy.
Yeah. And then at the end of the season, I went to Airbus after that, mate.
Yeah. Who was at Airbus, mate?
Some good lads. Craig Harrison, he was the manager. Yeah, when I ended up taking over TNS, didn't he? And then it was Darlington, was it?
Yeah.
He got moved to Darlington, and then I think he's back in Connors King now, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I found it more professional going back with him. It was like going back to Liverpool type thing. He brought in.
I've seen Craig work at TNS. He's very professional.
Yeah, a bit much after the game and after training, like, you know, trying to dissect everything. But I enjoyed it. Some good players as well, like Ryan Edwards and Danny Desmond and.
Did you compete for anything?
And Skip
you
as well. Skip was there.
Well, Skip,
great fella, yeah. Not really competing, mate. To be honest, when I signed, they weren't doing great, and then we got into the playoffs for Europe, but we got beat by ABBA in the semi. So yeah, that was as far as we went with them. Yeah.
And then from Airbus, you went to Buckley.
Yeah, I was only there a few months, mate. I only went because I broke my ankle and my leg for Airbus against Newtown away, and then I'd come back way too early, and then my mate Liado, he was there at Buckley. So
he just left as I got there at Buckley.
So he rang me up and said, come in. So that's why I ended up going there. Yeah.
A great little club, Buckley, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's tucked away, isn't it?
There's some stalwarts there, mate. So, I think you've already answered this. The best centre-back you come up against, mate?
I've got a few, to be honest, Chase. Yeah, I was in it, obviously playing in the pro leagues and all that. I came across Wes Brown. When he was if you listen to Michael Owen talk about him when he was younger, he was unreal, mate. So I'd say
about him, was he quick?
He had everything, mate. He was quick, strong. He could read it. He could pass it. So I'd say Wes Brown in the pros, and then semi-pro I'd say Tosh, and a fella Wyn Thomas. Don't know if you know him.
No.
Played for Clonettley, and he's still going now. He's about 38.
Yeah.
He wasn't the quickest, but he was strong, brilliant in the air. Yeah, and could read it well. Yeah. So I'd say them two. Yeah.
Brilliant. What's it like being a centre forward, mate? And how would you describe yourself as a centre forward?
I describe myself as busy. A few people say I'm not hard working, but I thought I was. And quite cute, yeah.
In the box.
Yeah.
So if there's any young kids out there, have you got any tips for them arriving in a box? We asked Wildy this the other week because goal scoring's a bit of a knack, isn't it? It's the best part of the game, isn't it?
It is, mate. Yeah, it's hard to put your finger on it, isn't it? Really, but when people say it's like natural and you always sort of seem to be in the right place at the right time. But I think it's always you're always looking at who's around you, trying to anticipate where the ball's going to be and where it's going to drop.
But timing come into that as well.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, not driving too early. And I always, obviously, when I was at Liverpool, I was always told to get across the front man, the first man.
We call them game cues now.
We
got past names for it, yeah. So any advice to young players, mate?
Enjoy it. Work hard. And probably believe in yourself, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've
I've seen a lot of players fall away for not believing in themselves. Yeah.
Well, we've had a lot of chats on the show about people thinking when he got to a club and someone's come from Man United or they come from it just for say that for saying's sake, and then they've been a bit, oh well, he's played for Man United, so he must be better than me. And now we're starting to get to it where it doesn't matter where he's been, go and give it your best shot. You know.
It's vice versa as well, Chase, because some lads might drop down from like the likes of Man United and they're totally shot the confidence.
Yeah.
So believe in yourself, yeah, that's a massive thing, I think. You know, I always tell my lad the same thing, yeah. So
I'm coaching you lad now, aren't I? So
yeah, mate, but you know what, I always say to him, you know, because he does struggle with confidence a bit.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you can blag your way through with a bit of confidence.
Yeah.
And you can talk a defender out of it as well. You know.
He was a bit nervous at Liverpool. And
yeah.
Then when after 3 balls kicked, he was just his normal self, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He played really well.
He's quite quiet, isn't he? So
yeah.
He needs to come out of himself a bit, doesn't he? Take him down.
He's not like us. So, what was your best game ever you were involved in, mate?
It's a tough one, that, for me. I'd probably say that the day we won the league, for real.
Yeah.
Just because it meant so much.
The significance of it.
Yeah. There's people, like you said, you know, stalwarts, clubs, even though they're even part-time, but they've been there for 20, 30, 40 years, mate. And to see them, see how happy it was. So I'd probably say that. Or the Welsh Cup final, yeah.
Who did you play in that?
I've played in 3 now. We played TNS. Oh yeah, I played in 3, won 2, lost 1. Won 1 against TNS, lost 1 against TNS, and won another one against Bangor. And
did you score in any of
them? Scored in 2 out of 3, yeah.
It's not a bad record, that is it?
Yeah, it was alright, mate, yeah.
It's good, the Welsh Cup final as well, mate.
Well, it is the oldest trophy
in
the world, isn't it? The Welsh trophy. It's a nice medal to have, isn't it, as well? So.
Brilliant, well, you got 2.
Yeah.
Okay, mate, best player you ever come against? Best player all round, not centre back, best player ever.
I'd give you 2 answers again, mate. Steve Gerrard was just the best one.
Yeah.
I'd say, well, in the pros, up against and with by far Stevie, yeah. And in the semi-pros, I'd say it's a tough one, mate. I'd put Tosh in them brackets, you know.
Yeah.
Just
what, like you're trying not to?
Yeah, I'm trying my hardest not to put them in. But I'd have to, mate. Yeah, I'd have to. I can't.
Like you said before, he could left foot, right foot, big, strong. He could head. He could do everything. Really, read the game.
Well, he played for TNS. He played left back. He played right back, centre half.
I think he played left back for TNS. He scored something like 15, 18 goals. Didn't he?
And he always kept us cool. Well, most of the time he kept us cool. Like I've never seen him get flustered under pressure or anything. Yeah, so I'd probably say Tommy, you know. Yeah. Even though, like I said, I don't want him.
Any regrets, mate?
Do you know what? I'm a positive person, mate. But if I'm totally honest, I've got loads, yeah. But I try not to dwell on them, mate. My main one is my professionalism. Away from match days and training, I wish I'd look after myself more. Done a bit extra.
I think you did look after yourself. You're just saying be a bit more stricter.
Well, to be honest, Jace, it was, you know, my mentality was, you know, my abilities, I'm all right.
Yeah.
And the training I was doing, I was just like ticking over. I should have been doing that little bit extra to further myself. I was sort of in a comfort zone, if you know what I mean.
But do you think in our era when we were like that,
that's just the way it was, yeah.
It was the way it was, yeah.
But like I said, when I come to the end of my real days, that's when it started to change, and I could see lads were, you know, were coming in. They didn't have the best of, well, I'll say, sorry to take that back.
Not blessed with lots of ability.
Yeah, that's
but had ability.
Yeah. They had ability, but they didn't have more ability than some of the other lads in the team. But they were more physical.
Sharp.
They could run all day.
Yeah.
And they looked after themselves. After, you know, if they went out on Saturday, they'd be in the gym Sunday or Monday. You know, doing that little bit extra. So, in them terms, I wish I'd done that a little bit extra, mate. Yeah. Because I think I could have got a little bit moved back into the pro leagues if I did.
Do you see anything in the future happening for yourself, Sticks, in football, or you got any interest in it, or just watching the lad?
Mainly just watching me lad, to be honest, Jace.
Yeah.
I'm pretty content at the moment, mate.
Yeah.
I enjoy my life. I love watching Liverpool. I love watching them. I love watching them training. But saying that, if someone came to me and asked me a little bit of advice or little bits of this and that, I think I would do, mate. Yeah.
I'm sure you've got lots to give, mate, especially with how many goals you scored, and you know them little things around the box, and like we said before, that's an art, coaching, and some of the things you'd have picked up along from Liverpool, Tranmere, and your pro and semi-pro careers. I'm sure you could pass on vital information there, mate, if you actually did get into it.
Yeah, my missus is always saying, to be honest, Jace.
Is she?
Yeah, she's always trying to push me to do it, but I'm one of them mums who sort of waits to be asked. And instead of put myself out there a little bit.
Ask you live
Cut that bit out.
Yeah. All right then. Thanks that's it, mate. For running out of questions. That's the final whistle.
Yeah, mate. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me, Sticks.
Yeah. Enjoyed it, mate.
Really enjoyed that, mate. It's great. Yeah. So a big thanks to Andy for coming on the show. Please subscribe on YouTube and press the like button. But please, if you can, subscribe. It's free. Okay, get us on Facebook and Insta. And I'll see you soon. Thank you very much.